slavery. Free from slavery. Free yourself from mental slavery. Free yourself from mental slavery. Free yourself from mental slavery. Free from slavery. Free from slavery. Yeah.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war.
Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, African one. If you wanna be free, the most simplest one in the world. Get yourself the Bible, play the reggae music, coming straight to you from the one of the most peaceful men. So many lying down on the streets, what about them? We are dancing at the ends. Get yourself the most free time, I preach about freedom. Preach about freedom.
We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Concerned Citizen of South Sudan going live on Saturday, April 6, 2019. I welcome all of you around the world to our weekly program. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we are going to discuss very important topic here. But I would like to welcome all of you for being part of this program. And also, تحية لثورة السودانية الثورة التي انطلقت. أنا ما أعرف هيحصل شنو النهاردة للبشير. This is قد يكون أيامها الأخيرة. So تحية لهم. Well done job. They are doing very good job. You know, I stayed late overnight. They are doing actually tremendous job. One more time, I welcome all of you to our weekly program. This is Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Of course, this is not a spin zone. As we keep repeating this every time, it is forum for all South Sudanese from all different walk of life, from all different political affiliation. The only thing that we do not accept in our program is an insult. We are not allowed to insult one another. Tonight, though, we have a very interesting topic that we are discussing with the very Reverend Father Francis Chan is our guest tonight. Father Francis Chan, who is in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, in the United States. So the topic of tonight is, in the last month before formation of revitalized transition government of national unity, the Vatican invite South Sudan's principal secretary, especially the president and opposition leaders, for the meeting termed as a spiritual retreat. All right. On April 10, though, they are going to have that meeting. Will this retreat help the president and opposition leaders to come together, build trust and confidence, eventually expedite peace implementation? That's our question tonight for this discussion. So please stay tuned. Reverend Francis Chan will join us momentarily, and we will start this, discussion together. You are all part of this discussion. Thank you one more time for tuning in and being part of this discussion tonight. Let's go ahead here and play a little music while I'm waiting for Reverend Francis to show up. As I said many times, listen, this time, President Salva Kiir is invited by Vatican, all right, and the opposition leaders as well, to get some spiritual help. Sometimes it may seem like art, but it is not. We never know what's going to happen from that. Actually, I can give you a little bit of historical background what happened in South Africa. If most of you know who is the Bishop Tito. I don't know if some of you know Bishop Tito. Bishop Tito actually, after a very, very, very long apartheid in South Africa, Mandela, Nelson Mandela, the father of the freedom in Africa, went to prison for 27 years. And after he got out, Bishop Tito of South Africa actually did a tremendous job for reconciling all the entire nation. That's why South Africa now is a stable nation. Is the Pope Francis is going to use the same model that Bishop Tito of South Africa did, and he was able to reconcile all the entire nation so that South Africa now they are stable politically, they don't have any war, they don't have any problem, they don't have any kind of bitterness that they have been through apartheid. So we will figure it out. Spiritual can help sometimes. Let's see here and wait for our guest tonight, Reverend Francis Chan. I can see he's right down there. We will bring him in and we will discuss more and more. So thank you so much. Yeah, all right. Teto, yeah, Teto. Yeah. Maybe I said it wrong, Teto. I think it's Teto. It's not Tito, it's Teto. Yes. Thank you for correcting me, Brother Emmanuel Ajawin, for that. So let me go ahead here and wait for Father Francis Chan to come in and help a little bit, with this. I would call it maybe a little bit historic visit for Pope Francis to help, Furuq al-Watan, to reconcile them and bring them together so South Sudan can be stable. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's be at least optimistic about that. So let me go ahead and see here if my guest is here. I'll go ahead and bring him. I saw you, Father Francis. Please, I want you to go ahead and just click that, the green button, and then I'll bring you here right away. And so we can move on. I know I'm playing multiple songs today. I got that one. And thank you so much, my dear brother, for sending me that song. It is so awesome. So we move on and start doing this. I think one ridiculous guy calling me. I don't know why he's doing that. He stopped my song and he's not supposed to be calling me at this critical time because we are doing very important. If you call one more time, actually I'm going to sign you out. Don't do that again because I am on live video. This is not a time that for someone to call in. All right. This is nice traditional music. Yeah, no problem, Father Francis. I will give you a few minutes here. Yes, our time actually was Eastern time. Yeah, it's not a horrible. This is a good song. I know this is a very, very good song, So let's continue doing this. Sometimes, when you play song on a messenger, it's kind of likely, to be a little bit distracted. But let's move on doing this. So go ahead and share our video tonight. I did not share it to group because sometimes I don't understand which group is which group. Kind of having a little bit of time because when I share it to group, some group actually don't want it and they tend to delete it. That's why I didn't want to share anymore to groups. So you go ahead and do that. It's a little bit hot here today. Okay, that song is ended. I'm gonna go ahead and get another one here so we can move on with this very important, day. My dear brothers and sisters, just stay tuned, and then we will get him in very soon as Father Francis is getting ready. And so let me go ahead and do something right there. Let me bring you in.
Mama, you ain't baby, you made by Tinidal, you made by Yasu. Power can you Oga ram bam 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 bam. Yanma duk diarin chaka champion. Oga ram bam 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 bam. In toke yamlo, what can I done? Kuwa chaka nyinji denga bay. Tok yalla kai kanyalla lai lai. Oh mami, kudu el kedian yan jol ken. And but
Go ahead and share this video. So if someone wanted to come up while Father Francis is getting ready, that would be okay as well. So you can push that button and I can bring you in a little bit. Some water here, you guys have?
Mama, in with baiting and down, in with baiting it down, in with by Yasu, power in your piano. It's a boy, I will, and a boy can let you. Ninka de ke a boy loin. I can't wait but do chen now. Kiata ke, kian ke, kuya kule fry yanma. Tomorrow no gotin sooner. Hey, you chan matin, on Monday until and do loin. Saturday you better gain. Hey, you don't nervio. In me until young love.
We are back.
Mama, in with biting and in with biting it in with by Yasu.
Sunday, I saw you send a request. Let me go ahead and bring you and see what's up. So it keep adding up. I know, James. You want us to play and change music? We can mix it. It's not a problem.
Entertainment, a future record. I call it dear Gigawala.
It looked like Sunday. I don't think so. It's going through. Maybe the network is not helping you there. I apologize. Hello, Sister Book, how are you? Yeah, no problem. You know, Father Francis will be here momentarily and we will start this. Don't feel boring. Don't feel boring. We're doing this. We are getting the top of it. You know, we'll get it soon, and then we'll move on. So. I know some people, you know, send in a request, but the network is not helping. So. As I said, you know, go ahead and share that. It will help a lot, you know. So some people, I didn't share it to the group today, like I said. So you. Wow.
Sir Jongkor.
Ahlan wa sahlan, Gore. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Of course, our guest tonight is going to be, Father Francis Chan from Iowa. Demo, Iowa will join us momentarily. But if you want to say something before my guest come in, you are highly welcome, to say anything.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to thank you. Ana ju yaskurak o nasal maak pe ajere pe musahidin nasa. Pakaman, I want to thank the people of Sudan. The nasal lasa pe Sawari. I hope as President Oman there is gonna happen. Basir must go. Yeah. So coming to the topic, yeah. I wish something is gonna happen, because I think Pope might have seen that it's
It is necessary.
what is going
Okay.
what is going on in South Sudan need an intervention really, and I know Kir, because even if what Pope did, but the whole thing rests on the president of South Sudan, which is Salva Kiir. I hope he may give he can give like a certain thought that enough is enough. If it is me really, let me give in to the Holy Father, because I think it will be an embarrassment if Kir has to not to give in to the Pope, I think he might listen or he might not listen, I know Pope also know that Kir de taban wo felan jol taban wo Catholic assassin,
Yes.
Yeah. So I wish that Gelbuta, the heart of Salva is gonna change, and we want that peace to go ahead. We want the people of South Sudan at least to breathe a little bit, because they have suffered a lot, Yeah. But then, come on, the good thing is, what is really taking place in Khartoum. I think even South Sudan, people in South Sudan are not sleeping now, because the wave is gonna move from Khartoum, and then it's going up to Uganda and Kenya, and it's gonna continue, So I think this can happen in the right time, and I hope change is coming, Change is really coming,
Well,
and
the thing is, Gore, it looked like. I listened to a story actually by Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen, the one who pastor Kabir used to be Texas, and actually was talking about how sometimes when you surround yourself with bad friends, people who don't want you to grow, people who don't want you actually to do good, you're likely to fail. But if you are doing it in a way that you are, you touch yourself or you are around good people, you are likely thing will happen. Maybe this time, we don't know. Let us be optimistic, at least see what's going to happen at this particular situation. And actually, I can see my guest is here, but I wanted to say that even the Savior, Jesus Christ himself, when he came to this world, he wanted to succeed, and he succeeded. He did not surround himself with bad people. And that's why you see he has 12 disciples. Those are the good friends, right, to him. And from those 12 disciples, he chose only 3. He chose Peter, he chose James, he chose John, right? Those are the trusted disciples. So maybe this is a message that Pope, Francis wanted to convey to our president, to leaders of South Sudan, that actually you don't need to surround yourself with political piracy. You need to get out of that room, and move on, and remind yourself what did you fight for? You've been fighting for 38 years for the people of South Sudan, for South Sudanese to have justice, liberty, prosperity. So now, bringing everybody together, and that's why I talk about Bishop Teto of South Africa and how he brought all the entire nation together, and forget about what happened in the past. You cannot forget, of course, what happened in the past, but move along, move on, and and open a new chapter and start new South Africa. South Africa that don't care about what happened apartheid, but just South Africa that look for South African. So, Gore, I'm going to let you go because my guest is already here. You may request a little bit later, and then we can bring that on. So thank you so much for sharing a few words here. Let me go ahead
No problem.
and bring my guest in here. This is the time, and I am ready for you, Father. It looked like your camera is not on. Go ahead and just turn on the camera. Or send me a request. Send me a request, Father Francis. If you could push the green button, and actually that can really help. Push that green button, and then it will bring you live here. So try that, and then we move on. Yes, I think, yes, that's what we need to happen right now. Let me go ahead and do this. Move on. I'm calling you right now, Father Francis, Chan. It is dialing up. Here we go. Hello, Father Francis, Chan. Good to see you, and welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Hello. Do you hear me, Father Francis?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yes, I can hear you.
I was saying that welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan live show here. And I'm really appreciate it for you to accept and come on and speak to the people of South Sudan.
I don't know, I think we have a trouble.
Is it not? Is it okay?
Is it clear now?
You? Yes, it's very clear. I can hear you clearly. Just mount your phone so it doesn't have to move. If you mount it, yeah, that would be so great.
Okay.
So again, thank you so much for coming on to our program here. I really appreciate it. First of all, like I said, I read the topic that we are discussing today. Is a very, very important question. But before we move on, Father Francis Chan, I want you to talk a little bit and about yourself and to introduce the people of South Sudan. I know you are a son of South Sudan. You've been in Wow, Bahr el Ghazal. You've been all over South Sudan. So it is an opportunity for you to speak with the people of South Sudan today. So I want to yield floors to you to tell us a little bit. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jongkor. And if you would allow me to use both languages, if that is okay.
Absolutely.
For your audience. And before doing so, I would like to apologize. I was giving a Central Times, that 2 p.m. Central Times, which is about 7 minutes now to 2 p.m. Central Time. I want to record it here, my gratitude and appreciation to some of you who have taken to themselves this initiative of trying to educate our community. It's not an easy task. I'm very sure that 2 or 4 hours that you put every week, it will be rewarded one day. But before going further, if it is okay with you, although I know that it's not all of us who are here this afternoon who are Christian, but let me try to ask your kindness and your audience, if it's okay for us, just to remember God's name. And I will try to do a universal prayer that can bring all of us together, those who believe in a divine power.
Of course, absolutely.
Do I have your permission?
Yes.
Do I have your permission?
Of course. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. The Bible says, God so loved the world and that he gave his only Son, Jesus Christ, that whoever believes in him shall not perish and will have eternal life. Jesus said again, I came that they may have life, and they may have it abundantly. A complete life, full of purpose. A man is sinful and was separated from God. And for that reason, God so loved the world and brought love to the world by sending his only Son, Christ, so that we may have life. Good Lord, as we appeal to you, sons and daughters of beloved land of South Sudan, we ask your intervention. We ask that, Lord, you may reveal yourself in every single person who care and wanted to bring everlasting peace in our bleeding country. May you enter into our minds, hearts, so that what we share this evening may glorify your name. And we make this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. So I'm ready for you, says. Oh, you did give me the flowers that, and you wanted me to introduce
Yes,
myself.
yeah. Thank you so much.
To
And I
your
want you
audience.
just, to enlighten our people, about yourself. a little
Isn't
bit.
it?
And I know, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Francis Nyawelo Majakshan Fediet. I'm a son from both mother from South Sudan, originally from Greater Cholo Kingdom, northern part of Fashoda. I have been living in the United States now for over 20 years. Since most of us came to this country seeking and wanted to restore back their dignity. I live in another great state, historical states, and many Southern Sudanese can't remember the state of Iowa, which is many of us can recall back where the late Dr. Garang started building up his vision. أنا داير نرجعكم ورا زي ما أنا قلت قبل بيني أنا أحاول أتكلم باللغتين.
نعم.
وإن شاء الله عربي بتاعتي بكون ما مشت مرة وايد. لو دعت الضرورة كله أنا أزيد معكم شوية بشلك.
It's okay.
I'm just joking. زي ما أنا قلت بيني أنا قاعد في البلد ده مدة 20 سنة. I'm over 52 years old now. I'm very sure that I was born during the war in our country. And it seems now I'm growing a gray hair now in war, which is none of us wanted to see this. I did have an opportunity to live in 3 of South Sudan before coming to the United States. I spent some time in Malakal when I was in minor seminary, and also spent some time in a beautiful city that I love to myself. That's the city of Wau. And just south of Wau, Busiri. Also, I did spend some time in Juba, but it was not long like the others 2 cities. So that is privileges that were given to me by the church, the mother church, the Catholic Church. زي ما أنا قاعد نتكلم اليوم عن مبادرة بتاع الكنيسة الكاثوليكية. مش ممكن أنا نمشي مباشرة طوالي لفاتيكان سيتي. I think it is important that we come back to ourselves a little bit. What has the church, the Catholic Church of Sudan in the past and Southern Sudan Catholic Church currently have done? And I want to bring some names, those who has contributed in our history, sons of the Catholic Church. Even some of them also are daughters of Catholic Church, in which you, Ustaz Mayola, may remember a the first Southern Sudanese religious sister, Sister Amanda, who was able to open for the first time girls' schools, in which she's originally from Awil.
Amandit, we call her Amandit.
She died,
Yeah.
yes, she died when she was 102 years, several years ago. Of course, we cannot talk about the Catholic Church of South Sudan without remembering the great father of humanity, Father Santino Oro, of native of Torit. And all of us know this man as an spiritual father of the first struggle in our country. Actually, it should be considered as one of the founders of the first Anyanya one, followed by late Father Benson Alung. And maybe some of you do not know this name because it's forgotten completely. Father Benson Alung was involved in the first in South Sudan, Anyanya one. And again, after when he left the church, again after when Father Benson Alung left the church, he joined the second movement in 1986. I believe Father Benson Alung is a Shulubai tribe, come from the same area where I come from. Also, for some of you who spent some time in Khartoum during the tough time, may remember the name of Father Hilary Omolo Bumo, who passed away last year. And he passed away because as a result of the threshold that he went through, where he was beaten very badly, and then the church sent him to Germany. Last year, he passed away because of what has happened to him. Some of you also may remember Father Dominic Matong of Awil, who joined the movement too. And with the many priests there who were led by His Eminence Cardinal Gabriel Zubair Wako in Khartoum. And also with his auxiliary bishop, Bishop Daniel Adwok Marco Kur, who is now auxiliary bishop of Archdiocese of Khartoum, but he resides in Kosti. The church, or the Catholic Church of South Sudan, has been involved, as we know, not politically, as some or many of us are asking for the separation of the religion from the state. It is true. But as you know that the church is the human conscience. If people are suffering and the church will be quiet somewhere, does it mean that they did not fulfill their call? And that is why some of you have seen what took place last month in March, and also what is going to take place on the 11th and the 12th of April this year of 2019 in Vatican City.
So now, Father Francis, with that, thank you for all this introduction. Now, of course, we cannot deny any work that done by Catholic Church. I myself, an example, without Catholic Church in Sudan, I wouldn't even get a foundation to my education. Because when I came to Khartoum in 1986, I was around 7 or 8 years old, very tall boy. I was rejected in all government schools. But of course, you know, I was able to get into some diocese of Khartoum that Cardinal Bishop Gabriel Zubair have set up for displaced person, because actually he approached the government that those kids are running away from the war in South Sudan. They need to go to school. They need to be accepted in public school. But the government refused. They said, oh, they are old enough. They are older. We cannot put them because these kids are younger. And Gabriel Zubair, Bishop Gabriel Zubair asked them, well, these are your kids. These are Sudanese kids. You know, the war affected them. Why would you accept it? When government refused totally, and then he was able to solicit funds somewhere, and that's where he set up Diocese of Khartoum Displaced Schools. This is where I started my school in 1987 to go to
Oh my.
So I am so proud, you know, at the work that has been done by Catholic Church, and it should be recognized, you know. It's just, you know, the mess that we have in our country, it should be recognized. The well-done job that they have done. Without them, we wouldn't even be the way we are now speaking, you know, with a little education that we have today. So I'm so grateful. One more time, I thank you, Father Francis, for coming on. Now, coming to our program today that we are discussing, you know, the topic that we are talking about. You talk about President Kiir has visited
Please,
Vatican.
if you can allow me,
okay,
if you can allow me just for 1 minute, please, because there is an important name.
Go ahead.
That I have forgotten.
Go ahead.
And it will not be good. It will not be good of having this. Getting together without
sure
giving the man what he deserves.
Correct.
Bishop Paride Taban.
Absolutely.
And that was for the first time in the history that the Sudanese hierarchy from the Catholic Church resigned to pave way for the others, for the young leader to come to the church and take responsibility.
Yes.
It was done by Bishop Paride Taban.
Yes.
But of course, the bishops or the clergy in general, they don't retire completely. What he have done again, he built what he called the peace village between the three cities. I mean, between the two cities. That's it, between Bibor and then Kupeta. Now, as we are talking today, there is I'm very sure there is an over 300 or 400 children from all South Sudan who are receiving their education under the leadership of Bishop Paride Taban. He is the man who endures the war as an eyewitness himself. So that is the involvement of the Catholic Church of Sudan, or South Sudan currently. Please go forward.
Thank you. Thank you. To continue with our program or our question here, Father Francis, I may say this. There is a great story in the Bible. I'm not going to go there. But that's something that we have learned. And I was talking to a brother who came to the show here. His name is Gore. That even Jesus Christ himself, he has 12 friends, 12 disciples. But among those 12 disciples, he chose 3 closest friends to him. So wherever he goes, there would be no doubt. And that's why Peter, James, John, they were the closest friend to him. And I remember when he visited, you know, the dead child, the little girl that died. I don't remember exactly what verses. These are the only three, you know, disciples went inside with him and the parent of the, you know, child. And because he knew that those, if he said anything, they are not going to say, no, no, this is not true. It's not going to happen, because he believed in them. You know, they are very close friends. So now coming to this, and we have seen our country, you know, went through turmoil, President Kiir, there is the political piracy, there's so many things that has happened. And they have forgotten the cost of the war: justice, liberty, and prosperity. Now, by the invitation that Pope Francis invited President Kiir and the leader of South Sudan, oppositions, to go to Vatican.
You keep cutting up. I don't know what is going on.
Sorry, because maybe network. So, would this...
The boys keep cutting off.
Would this going to help? Is it the invitation that principals, president, and opposition leader for the meeting terms as a spiritual retreat on April? Will this retreat help president and opposition leaders to come together and build trust and confidence and eventually expedite the peace implementation? This is our question today. Hello?
Yeah, the line keeps cutting off, and I don't know what is going on.
So I can repeat the question if you didn't get the question completely.
No, I get the question. I get the question. It says Mayola. The line keep cutting off. Hopefully that it will be much better now.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you for the question. And before I answer the question, the name continue ringing in my head, and I keep remembering the people who have done good things for us as a Southern Sudanese. If it is in the term of services, or if it is in the term of protections or taking care of one another. And I want to bring something for the first time to the public today.
Okay.
And I will not bring it all. I just will try to keep the rest. And those who were in Malakal in '83 will remember this. When our president, his name was revealed that he was among those who rebelled against the government, it was the Catholic Church who protect President Kiir and worked very hard to get him out from Malakal. And that's what the late Bishop Benson Mojog Nyiker, who passed away a year ago. And President Kiir can remember this very well, how Bishop Benson Mojog put his life on danger so that he can save his life to get out from Malakal. That is we, the Southern Sudanese people, how we used to be. Now going back to your question with the invitation that the Southern Sudanese leader has received to travel to Vatican City for the spiritual retreat. And I will come back and talk a little bit about what does the spiritual retreat mean as the term that the church used.
Yes.
But before that, I would like to bring something, the teaching, some of the teaching of the Catholic Church about peace and reconciliation. And this is a piece of the teaching that was written by St. Francis of Assisi. And St. Francis of Assisi, that is the name that the current Holy Father took his name because of the life of St. Francis that was so important to him. So let me read it to you.
Okay.
What St. Francis wrote about 300 or 400 years ago. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine master, grant that I may not be so meek, but to be consoled. To be understood is to be understand. To be loved is to love. For it is given that we are received, and it is pardoning that we are being pardoned. And it is only dying that we are born to eternal life. That is why the church, or the Catholic Church, is so concerned for what is taking place in our country. And they took initiative, because actually it was not the initiative from the president, it was the initiative from the church.
Okay.
And some of those initiatives went from here, from US, a quite long time ago. And it's happened that my own bishop, who is, who was at the time, not now, he was at the time the president of peace, international peace and justice within the US Bishop Conference, visit Juba during the tough time in 2014 and then again in 2015. I don't advise Bishop, but we share with him our concern.
Yes.
And what our country was going through. And he asked, what can you do? Well, sir, you can visit and see by yourself. To Juba with the large delegations of some bishops from US. They met with the president several times. And now we are talking about 2015. And today we are talking about the president and some leaders in our country being invited to go for the spiritual retreat in Vatican. It is our common responsibility, because that is the teaching of the church, that we must take care of one another. It is the same bishop that I just mentioned here, and his name actually is Richard Pace. He led the delegation when there was a crisis in Côte d'Ivoire, when a new bishop came in, a new president came in.
Hassan Ouattara. Yeah, Bagbo doesn't want to give the power to Hassan Ouattara.
Correct.
Okay.
And he refused not to give the power. My bishop led the delegation to Côte d'Ivoire, and they were able to succeed of bringing in the elected president who won the election. I'm not suggesting here that should take place in our country, but I'm saying that the church continue as a living conscience. Because when this bishop visit Juba with his delegation, they have seen by themselves when they visit UNAMIS or the the camp where there is the internal displaced people in Juba. And they continue from that time until when we see our president traveling to Vatican City last month because of the case that they continue building it for the last 3 years. Church will continue to offer the teaching of Jesus Christ. And a spiritual retreat, it is a moment or the time when individuals or a group of people come together to meditate and give themselves a time to look back into their life and present themselves or make a petitions to God. And if there is any resolutions of what was going wrong in your life, it is a great opportunity. That's time that where you can seek forgiveness, where you can seek to maintain your relationship with God that you worship too. Because as we are talking about this, it's not only something to do with the Pope, but something to do with those individuals, if they believe or if they are believers, something to do with them themselves, what they are going to petition God. But they need somebody to coach them. They need somebody to direct them. They need somebody to be with them. They need somebody to show them God love, that God loves every single person of us. And for those reasons, just to bring the idea very close, I would like to bring some passages from the Holy Scriptures. And actually it happened to be the gospel for tomorrow, because the Catholic Church has the circle
year around.
Scripture that being, we are now in the year C, and it's happened that the gospel that I was looking for is the one that is going to be proclaimed tomorrow in the Catholic Church around the world. And I wanted to examine this, all of us together, and to see that none of us who is perfect, who is clean, all of us, we have a little dirty on us, where we seek some help, so that that's little dirty thing that we can take them away. And this reading is taken from St. John, or the Gospel of St. John. It's a well-known one, and I think some of you will enjoy it. And it's happened that between Jesus and the man and the woman that was brought to him, whom people think that he has committed adultery, and he is a prostitute, and he deserved to die by stoning her. But Jesus did have a different opinion. Jesus went to the mountain of Olivet, but early in the morning he arrived again in the temple area. And all the people start coming to him as he sat down to taught them. Then the scribes and Pharisees brought a woman who has been caught in adultery and made her stand in the middle. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman has been caught in a very act of committing adultery. Now in the law, the Moses command to us to stone such women. What do you say?" They said this to test him, so that they could have some charges to be bring against him. Jesus bent down and began to write on the ground with his finger. Nobody knows till today what Jesus was writing there. Nobody figured out till today what he wrote. But they continue asking him, and he is strengthened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be first to throw a stone at her." Again he bent down and wrote on the ground. And he responded. They went away one by one, beginning with the elders who brought the lady. So he left alone with the woman before him. That Jesus straightened up again and said to her, "Woman, where are they?" "He has no one to condemn you." She replied, "No one, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go from now and do not sin again more." This is what we are looking for our leaders and from each one of us who is here this afternoon. As all of us are sinners and we seek help, or we ask God to forgive us, it is our great hope that this retreat that our leaders are going for, they will listen to their God carefully and they will never sin again. Of course, it's not an easy task.
Mm-hmm.
It is tough. It is tough. It is my hope to see something like what has happened to John Boehner. And you remember John Boehner, who used to be the
Yes.
Speaker of the House
Mm-hmm.
from Ohio. We
Yeah.
don't know what was taking place between him and Pope Francis.
Mm.
But it was the next day when he quit. And he said, "Enough is enough. I'm going back.
Oh.
The most important to me is to save life. And the most important to me is also to save my own life." A spiritual retreat, it is a great opportunity that our leader can listen to their conscience with the help of somebody who is there to coach them and help them reconcile. Not only among them, those who are going there, but our hope to let them reconcile with the people of South Sudan. And that's what we are hoping for.
Great message, Father Francis Chan. Great message there. You gave good example from the Bible. Now I have another question regarding this. So as Catholic Church continue to do good for the people, because there is no church without people, because when there is people, is the church. That's why the Catholic Church play a very positive role in our lives, you know, since in South Sudan and also outside South Sudan. Now, as those leaders are going to Vatican for spiritual retreat, something came to my mind. South Africa went through apartheid for a very long time. People die, people suffer. Some leaders went to prison. Nelson Mandela went to prison for 27 years. So, to make a contrast, Bishop Tito of South Africa, who is a winner of a Nobel Peace Prize in early 80s, was able to bring all the entire nation together. So now, Father Francis, is the Holy Father, Pope Francis, try to adopt the same module that Bishop Tito did in South Africa to bring South Sudanese and just move on and open a new chapter? Is that what they try to do?
Just for the record, I don't speak for the Catholic Church. I speak as a Southern Sudanese individual.
Okay.
And I also speak as a clergy because my conscience is troubled because of what I see daily in our country.
Yes.
I speak as a somebody who went through the same situation. I don't speak for the Pope Francis, but let me give you some keys, and that it will let you, I mean, you can assemble them together. It is for the first time in history, since our country became independent, that Pope Francis, immediately after when the president here went back to Juba, he appointed nuncio. A nuncio is ambassador that represented the Vatican city, Vatican
country,
states. And he sent him immediately to go to Juba, where he spent 3 days. Before, we used to have a nuncio for South Sudan, but he actually reside in Nairobi, Kenya. Now we do have nuncio
Juba,
who will be in Juba to monitor, to continue presenting the view or what Pope Francis would like to see in the country of South Sudan. Pope Francis is a gift individual of our time. And we can recall back the time when he came to the office. And this is what he's trying to tell or to teach our leaders when he's calling them with his own life. When a new pope being elected or being during the process of conclave, they call it conclave, all of them are locked inside.
Yes.
Until when they see the white smoke coming out. If it doesn't come out, that means that they will stay inside.
Yes.
Until when the new one is elected. It is our hope. It is our hope that these our leaders may have their own conclave, that they can stay inside till when they really come up with a genuine
solution.
Resolution that here is what they are going to save life of the Southern Sudanese people by bringing lasting peace. When Pope Francis went as Cardinal of Buenos Aires, he didn't know that he will be elected.
Correct.
And you know, the city of Vatican is a very small place. It's not easy to have all those bishops and cardinals, because there is 120 of them, cardinals, who elected the new pope. So all his belongings, he was living in a small hotel somewhere. So when he was elected as a new pope, now he need to put his belongings together, but he has forgotten because of his life that he was living. He wanted to go back to bring his belongings from the hotel. And and the Swiss, the Swiss guard, which is the city of Vatican, tell him now, no sir, you cannot go. He said, no, I'm going to get my belongings. Well, somebody will go, and he said, no, I'm going to do it myself, in which he did. He did. Recently, he has a visit for the first time, maybe for almost close to 200. There was no Pope who has visited Morocco. But he went there for two reasons. He was there on the 29th and the 30th. The same thing in last February when he visited Emirate. Okay. Pope wanted to teach people with his own life. The reason he went to Morocco, he wanted to see, because there is a small island there between Italy and Morocco, where there was some dispute. And also this is the place where there is thousands of North Africans, thousands of North African refugees who are being locked there or being kept there. So he went there particularly to be an eyewitness himself. So we, as a Southern Sudanese people who are hearing these days that Pope Francis wanted to assist and wanted to help us, I think it is something that all of us should be put in a prayer. Because without prayer, our faith will dry. I know sometimes we are too much demanding, but each one of us should have a responsibility. There is no any way that our people can come back and restore their life without peace. And peace is a responsibility of each one of us. And you can make this peace in the location where you are. And that is why Pope Francis, I have hope that he will help this our leader to let them meet somewhere to bring lasting peace in our country.
Thank you. Father Francis, I have one question, combination of questions, I would say. So now, thus, South Sudanese leaders are going to Vatican for retreatment, spiritual retreatment. Is that going to be a turning point after the Pope talked to them? And going back, what you have been fighting for, and look what happened to your people, and look kind of destruction that happened. And it is good to move on. So is that going to be a turning point? One. And second, as the son of South Sudan, please, what would you like to see after they come from there? What would you like to change from them? President Kiir or Riek Machar or any other leaders? What do you want to see changing immediately? These are my two questions for you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jongkor. Those are not easy questions. I really will try myself to humble myself before you and seek God help so that I can be able to answer those questions. Yes, this could be a turning point, but it is depend on our leaders. And let me give you another phrases from Holy Scriptures. With the two men, one of them was a short guy. His name was Zach.
Zaka.
And Zach wanted to meet Jesus by all means, but since there was too much crowd, he cannot see him. He climbed on the tree. He climbed up so that he can be able to view Jesus. Another guy was a tax collector that who was able to give himself, turn himself to the Lord so that he could be a new person. Yes, this is maybe a turning point for our leaders. And if they really humble themselves before the Lord, not before the Pope, if they could humble themselves before the Southern Sudanese people and say, enough, we want to build trust from here.
Yeah.
Because if you agree with me, the most important thing that our people are missing is the trust. And this trust is not only with the leaders, even with ourselves. We, the normal citizens, we are losing this trust. And when you do not have trust, you will not have hope. And even you will not have a goal. Where are you heading to? So our hope, and we will continue remembering and placing them in our prayer, this spiritual retreat will be a turning point when they really can start trusting themselves and also value the life of the Southern Sudanese people so that this suffering can end it. And it is my hope that if it is possible, they may travel back in the same airplane like what Sasi Aforgi and Abiy Ahmed did last time they traveled to Juba. There was somebody in between them when they did reconcile. The president of Eritrea and the president of Ethiopia, or the prime minister of Ethiopia. They did it because they believe into their people that
the only way
this suffering must need to be ended. I think there was another part of the question which
what do you want to see? What do you want them? What do you want to see after they come back? What kind of change, immediate thing that you wanted to see? Yes.
And I think I did put it together with my answer that I would like to see them traveling back together if it is possible, and really
working together,
working together and help the Southern Sudanese people to reconcile. In one of your introduction, you did mention Bishop Desmond Tutu. Bishop Desmond Tutu was able to help the people of South Africa because he was trusted. He was trusted by the government of his country. He was trusted by the people. He was trusted by the church. And that is what we would like to see, that our leadership really may trust the church, and they may gain trust of the church so that they can get help they need in order to bring end of this suffering of our people.
Father Francis, thank you for answering that question. But last but not least, your message to those leaders of South Sudan as they go to Vatican, and your message to all South Sudanese citizens today.
أنا قلت قبل بين أنا بتكلم على لغتين, but it seems that I just
it's okay.
I'm going to continue talking to English. خليني نشيل الكلام اللي أنت قلته أخير ده باللغة العربية.
نعم.
رسالة بتاعتي للقيادة بتاعتنا الأمم ماشيين هناك. كلوما يتواضعوا. كلوما يتواضعوا. كلوما يفكروا deeply inside with their mind and their hearts. بإن السلام الشعب السوداني أو الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان بيبكي شان السلام ده ما عشان الناس الموجودين هسه, لكن عشان المستقبل بتاع الجيال بتاع البلد. كلهم يتواضعوا عشان ما يقدروا فعلا to bring the end of the suffering of our people. And for us as the Southern Sudanese people, Ya Jama, we keep blaming the leadership. And we keep saying, oh, it is only them to bring change. The change is within you. Change cannot come from one individual. Change comes from all of us. Peace comes from all of us. Please try to do what you can in your local location where you are to embrace a spirit of peace. Untum عارفين زمان في بلد بتاعتنا, because you know Junubin, we got the best tradition and we got the best, the value of life. لما نجات بتاعتنا قاعدين يسافروا ولا أبوات بتاعتنا, ومن ما كان قاعد يشيلوا أي حاجة معهم. They go till when they see the smoke coming from somewhere or there is a fire. That means that village there is a people who are living there, and they will spend their night there. They will be given all their needs. We need, with the honesty, to examine ourselves and try to do what we can. Kalena maganu kalam bita Rabbana inside the churches, and then when we go outside the churches, we turn to the different people. God, none of us who have seen God, but God is my brother, God is my sister that I see and I talk to. That is where God reveals himself in each one of us. And if you want to welcome him so that you can be his temple where God lives, open your heart and try to offer the gift you can, the gift of true and honest reconciliation. Kalam al-inti bitamalu, if you do that, you didn't did it because you are weak. You did it because you love God, and God does love you. Please try your best to forgive so that you will be forgiven. If you don't do that, all what you request from God as you petition him, it may not work. Take little example from the life of the first Sudanese saint, Saint Josephine Bakhita. El kan beidawolo zay buda min zolda le zolda. And Bakhita was asked after when he became a Christian, Bakhita, what can you do to your master today? Those who torture you, those who mistreat you. Galew lo ana gabaltum el yom nasdol, I will kiss their hands and their feet, and I will say thank you. I know it's difficult, but by faith we can do it. Jesus have never been a judge. He was always offering love and peace. And that is why he took all our wounded, our shortcoming. He took it on himself. And that is why he humbled himself and he came and lived like one of us. God become our friends. God become our brother. God become our sister. God become one of us. Welcome that God in your life. Thank you.
Father Francis Chan, I really, really appreciate you. Yes, God is love. And when I care about my brother, my sister, and you took me back to a beautiful song that I always remember. Whatsoever you do to the less of my brothers,
Of my brothers, that you do unto me.
It's so awesome. I really, really appreciate you for coming and speaking to our audience, the people of South Sudan tonight. Being humble is really needed. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. And please, I want you to stick around and continue watching. And if there is any question, if there is anything come up, we may need you to come and answer that as well. But I am so delighted to have you on the program. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you so much, Brother Jongkor, and all your other peers who has been so helpful of trying to help our people to come together through this technology that has been offered to us. كل هذا البقى عنده تلفزيون صغير في بيت بتاعته. Let us use it positively, like what you are doing with your other peers, like those of Treza and those of Engineer Edward. May God bless your life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. With that, my viewers of concerned citizen of South Sudan, I really, really appreciate you for being on. You have heard Father Francis Chan speaking here. He has touched a lot. And actually, we may not have a bigger crowd as usual, but I can tell you this is my favorite show of the last 2 years because it has touched a lot of stuff. He didn't judge anyone. And he said Pope will not judge anyone. But Pope will open the book to our leaders and put them fi amr al-waqi and choose, what do you want to do? And this is what's going to happen. We have learned from Zachariah. I love that story. When he climbed that tree, because he was a very short man, as he put it, and he couldn't see Jesus because he wanted to see Jesus. And he was tax collectors. People don't like those who, collect taxes. Okay? But you know what? If you remember, that story is a great story. So going there and learn what I have done wrong and I have done so bad, and he doesn't want to be judged. We don't want to judge people because things happen in our life. We make mistake to others. But at the end of the day, we need to come to our senses. We have to accept the reality. Sometimes people, they may not, be pleased with this word, but these are so important. If we act that way, if we all behave that way, I think we wouldn't have any problem. And that's why I'm expecting, I hope those leaders, they will listen to Holy Father, Pope Francis, and then they will come there with the new ideas. We want to come there with a change. We want them to come there in one plane. We want them to come there and move on and choose a good friend, like what Jesus has done. He has 12 disciples, but he chose 3, Peter, James, John, most trusted. And instead of surrounding yourself with people that are going to push you on the edge and make you do bad things. So one more time, I really, really appreciate all of you. Now is your turn. You can send a request, and I can bring you to hear your perspective as well with this question. Thank you. Let me go ahead and see who requested here. I have lists. I have Bakita Akoy and Philip Atem and Agot. These are 3 people now so far requested. I'm going to go according to the list. I'll bring you Bakita so we can hear from you. I hope the network will cooperate so you can go ahead and make your point. Bakita, I'm calling you. Go ahead. And actually today, we hear a little bit about the history of Bakita. Son Bakita of Sudan. Majdi Darfur. So go ahead. Bakita, I'm calling you now. Go ahead and answer that. Go ahead and answer. So maybe I should not leave the air silent. I can go ahead and play a little bit of music here while I'm waiting for you to answer that. Let me do this. So it's still adding up. We're going to be patient. Go ahead and answer that. And then we move on. Okay. Bakita, it didn't work for you. It looked like something happened. So I may go and just, see another one. move on here and look for another person here. But Philip Atem, Philip, I'm calling you. I know a lot of people, in Africa want to participate, but because of the network, sometimes, Mabil go majal. But anyway, let's keep moving on. So I'm calling you now, Philip Atem. Go ahead and answer. Dawamak, Philip Atem. Philip, calling you. Go ahead and answer. So I don't know, Philip, it's not working. Yeah, Jamal, go ahead and send in your request. Okay, how about I'm gonna go ahead and try. Chankwat, I show you, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna try a good now. And then I'll bring you Chankwat after a good. I'm calling you a good. Go ahead and answer.
Asma,
Ahlan
I
wa
am I am the first guy to work with me.
That's good. That's good.
Asma,
I mean, there is no question.
lakini akuyan mazol buta kalam buta Vatican da je.
Well,
Asma, Asma.
yeah, go ahead.
Ana tell my leg Jongkor, how you doing, my brother? Long time no see.
I know, I'm doing very good.
Ana zamir kalam buta Buno Francis. Ma kul lakini ana kuna vijom fi new fi proper jagdom sumunu proper Mayom, Makol Mayom. So I came and I listened to some of the Francis. They are very good. I respect Father Francis Chan. He's very good guy. It are we Jongkor and then and then Kulina and then children of God. South Sudan. Arab Nazar be Juba Sudan Zata. God, it be Juba Sudan Zata. Talma,
Go
I
ahead.
will help you later, baby. Talma, Pope is inviting our leaders. I'll give it to you. That's okay. I got you. Right here. Don't drop it again. Okay, give me that break. Talma, Pope, Pope Francis invited our leaders. It started with President Pakir. Now he's invited by President Riek Machar, Nas Thomas Cirillo, Nas Wen, Machine Lebeta, Rabana, da كويس. عايزين ربنا يخص قلوبهم عشان ما يشغل تاني ما ضروري إذا أكوك زي الشيء المرة بتاعك ولا أكوك شيء الفقر بتاعك ولا كلام ما أكوك تشغل ما no violence is not good but then شغل we have to talk if brother doing something wrong you say my brother why you do this man. Tell your brother what is wrong. المشكلة like جنوب ده brother ما دلو Vatican
And we
ودلو
have to look
ودلو
back
محمد.
too. لأنه أنت what ما هو أساسا every human being has to make an assessment. We have to make assessment. If things are falling apart, every day things are going wrong on your way, and nothing is getting better, you have to sit down to yourself and make an assessment too. What am I doing wrong? And if you don't realize that, and now the Holy Father intervened that to invite them so they can go there and talk to them. And that's why I like the story of Zach. When
No المسألة كل
Go
المسألة كل مسألة جونكور طبعا father Francis هو أصلا this guy he loved the poor people. He was in Cuba. He loved poor people. This guy has a heart for this guy was a chosen. That's all guy. He came. He changed a lot of things. That's all actually into mahabta Rabbana fi. But then he loved another al-taban al-nam yadul. He loved them.
So now, what do you want? What do you want to what do you want to see from those leaders when they are coming back from a spiritual retreatment? When they are coming from there, what do you want?
I'm afraid that they will come back and they all become bishop in Juba, Sudan, and that will be a problem. Bishop, they all become bishop, and that is a problem. Listen, we fought the war, the separation religion from the state. Shakal al-harb, madarin din fi dola. It's another machine, Rabbana. Umji kalam ta Rabbana na fi jayin yakum be kalam ta Rabbana madarinu. Lakin shunu?
Ma kalam hukum. Ma jayin yakum.
Ma asma kalam their visit to Pope is good. So at least Pope will pray for them, so they will have a ruh bital mahabba. so that they don't fight again. So so they can be able to implement this peace. Uma bi shakal tani. No shakal ajama, ma bi shakal, no more fighting. So they will come and live as peaceful people. So something will change in their heart. I'm sure. That's all the Arabana. Lakini Jongkor, don't forget. Fiha yasal gabal sharin. For Francis Emirates. He met with the Imam to Emirates. Asalan dunya da annabi da maruni unna tarabana usiyasin. Do you know that the Vatican is a member of al-Gub al-Alam? You know that? Is a member of the powerful in the world. And America, Vatican, they associate. So in go kabir, which means if this guy accept, forgiveness, he might be able to lobby on behalf of South Sudan. If there guru to salam, he can bring some money to salam. ده حاجة موجود لكن أهم حاجة عايزين يصلوا الجماعة دول كان يبرد قلوبهم شوية لأن الجماعة شكل ما كويس ريان مشار برنسل فكير they are brothers
أقول I want to ask something ما سولو كمان يعمل لك سولو يقول لك يا أخي يجي يوريك ده حاجات بطال ده حاجة ما كويس وكده كده 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 أنت تقول حاجات ما كويس يعني وتم ترجع تعمل ما بكون كويس لانه زي الجول لما نقول لهم ما تشرب مريضه ويقول يا اخي انا الليله ده والله مريضه كن انا بخليه وثاني بعد يومين يمشي يرجع ثاني
بيعلو كوين دكتور دوله اي كوين كله ويل من بين غوبده
That's what we don't want because we want real change. We want change from their hearts. When they are coming there, they are coming to save people of South Sudan. They need to be sincere to themselves. زي ما أبونا قال قبل لازم أنت تقبل لو ما قبلت من نفسك كلام الزول بيقول لك حتى ولو بوب فرانسيس قال لك وأنت ما قلبك هنا ده ما راضي إنه مثلا I want to change.
Jongkor, أنا أوري حاجة. I just want to tell you people will disagree with me but this is it true أصلا. Is بماله. Sudan does not want bishop ولا أبونا ولا ما Sudan ده قانون. قانون وبوز جنوب السودان اللي مهلو دارو. Number 1. Number 2. الجماعة دول رئيس البكير is a good man. He's only محبة في قلب لكن he loves South Sudan more and becomes sickness to him. He shouldn't even love South Sudan like that. He loves South Sudan much to the limit. Number 3. Dr. Yang Machar is a born criminal. زول مولود مجرم. ما
change the dynamic.
I told you.
ما كان في كلام كاب وما سمعنا إنه فلان كريمنال ولا قلنا كثير كريمنال ولا يعني أنا قاعدين نتكلم كلام كويس نازل ماشين فاتيكان.
I told you that I'm going to say this, but some people wouldn't like it. That's what I was. Criminology. He said that there are those who are born criminals, and there are those who learn to become criminals.
They are mafzol mablud criminal. Mafzol mablud.
Yes.
You need to understand.
Yes, scientifically.
Ijram mafi DNA. Ijram the people learn it. The way people.
No. Some are born.
Mafzol mablud gabali. Mafzol mablud unsuri. This thing we tend to learn. You got it wrong, brother.
Yes, racism. Yes, racism. No one is born racist. Like people are born criminal. Saddam Hussein. People tell Ummu قال أنا ملان بالشيطان. ولده his mother rejected him.
أقول يا أخي أنت I want you to.
أنا جاي لك.
This is you are not making any sense, please.
Okay, أنا جاي لك. أنا عايزين سلام. أنا مبسوط. رئيس البكير قبل سلام مع الأخ دكتور يانغ مشار كان يجيب سلام بجنوب السودان. أوكي؟ أنا عايزين سلام بجنوب السودان. ما عايزين سلام بتاع المكتب المقدس ولا سلام بتاع كروان ولا سلام بتاع تمبل. عايزين سلام في قلوبنا كجنوبين. We have to accept ourselves بأن السلام ده خلاص جاء. لكن يا جونكور عايزين سلام ده يكون سلام كويس. ده ما ده له أبونا ولا ده له بوب ولا ده له منو ولا ده له إمام. ده له قانون في ورق وقلم.
But salam if you are not doing it, current Juba peace has been signed for how long? Today is April 6th and May 12th. That's the formation of government. Nothing has moved. Nothing.
Everything is all set, my brother. Everything is all set. The government is good. Hold on. The government will take place.
Let me give opportunity because it looks like you are taking it as a joke.
No. Let me make a point. The last point. The last point. The government of South Sudan has accepted the peace fight by President May 12 or May 15. There will be a new government. Those who are in will be in. Those who are not in will be out, and they will come later, one by one. Number two, no more hotels. If you are coming to South Sudan for peace, you are not going to be allowed to stay in a hotel. You can go on back to your house or go and stay with your relatives. Like in a hotel, you're not going to allow to be in the hotel. The money of the hotel will be used to implement this peace. And also, number three, those who are going back to Vatican, please, you go there and you let the Pope pray for you. But don't think that everything will, if you didn't change, Pope will never change anything from you. You need to change. You need to acknowledge that we are human. We are human. We are Junubin. We have the right to exist here, today, tomorrow, into the next 100 centuries and 1,000 years to come.
Thank
So
you.
there is a brother. Like it doesn't that one. Don't take me wrong, and I said it that people will not lie what I'm
I
gonna
just
say.
want you to be serious because this is matter of the country.
I'm very serious, my brother. I'm very serious, and
Oh.
this peace is 100%. So thank you so much, brother Jongkor.
Thank you.
May God, the Creator, bless the Republic of South Sudan, and peace be to all.
Thank you, man.
Everybody.
All right, let me go ahead here, Jamquat. Let me see, where are you, Jamquat? Good Marana. Jamquat.
Hey, what's up, Jongkor? How you doing, man?
Jongkor, thank you so much, for staying late. I know it is very late there in Perth, Australia, but, it's good, to have you on the program. So I want to get your perspective. If you want me to repeat the question, I can repeat it. Father Francis has spoken. I asked so many questions. He was very humble, and, I learned a lot from him. And that's why I said, actually, this is my favorite live show of the last 2 years, because I have learned some good stuff here today. We have to discover, all right, rather than mashakil and all this and shouting. There's a lot of good thing. Oh, I don't know what happened to you, my dear brother. Let's go ahead and send that one in, and I'll bring you in. Go ahead and send it. Chamkot, I'll bring you here. Chamkot, I call you from my end. Go ahead and answer. What happened, Chamkot? You are completely out. I don't see you. Okay, it looked like it's right there. Let me try this one more time. Hopefully it's gonna work. Okay, Chamkot, what's going on? Somebody call you?
No idea what's wrong.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. So, like I said, this is my favorite. I really, really enjoy, Father Francis. So, what is your intake?
All right. Look, first of all, I have to thank you. It's been a long, long time since I last came to your show. But look, you are doing a great work, most in particular in nominating the speakers over the last weeks. Over the last few weeks, I've actually watched it. All those shows that you have done over the last 1 month and a half. I've been actually following them. Unfortunately, when you come live, I'm probably sleeping or maybe at work.
Yes.
I just got back from work now, so I'm very privileged to be, on your show today, to actually listen to Father Francis. Let me not be too critical about the topics, but let us be analytic when we talk about the issues pertaining peace in South Sudan.
Correct.
I think Father Francis has spoken really, really well. In actually trying to give us a spiritual understanding on how things work in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Brother Agwod might never understand what it's meant to be in a spiritual realm. But people that goes to church like yourself and I would understand what is meant when you speak in a spiritual language. So it is very touching. The quotes from the Bible in which you quote all the chapters and the stories in the Bible are also heart touching. So I would concur with him that, you know, we cannot judge, but at the same time we are human beings. We have also the capability or the capacity to point what we have done wrong. You know, we are not God, we are not Jesus, because Jesus cannot, he would advise us not to judge, but we are human beings and we have to say, so and so have done wrong. So let me commend Father Francis for the great work that he have done in actually speaking his heart out from a spiritual perspective. Now let me try to come back to the human form in which we always find ourselves in, and that is the nature. What you know, that's a nature which you have seen from Agwot. It is something that we are accustomed to. You know, the way Agwot always carry himself is something not new to me. All right, Jongkor, let me say this. In terms of your topic, with respect to your topic, let me say that all of us want peace in South Sudan.
Correct.
You know, how and when or why and all those questions that we know, whether we are going to receive peace through Vatican or peace through South Sudanese or peace through Khartoum, or peace through IGAD and the Americans and all that. We don't care as long as it's come in the form of peace. And it has to be a genuine peace.
Yes.
A peace that carry, you know, accountability and justice. You know, as I was listening to Father Francis, he was speaking from the bottom of his heart, quoting the verses from the Bible. And we know that within the Bible, it says we are all, you know, equally created by God. God created you and I in his own image. The fact that you and I were created by God in his own image meant that I should never do things that would take your life away.
Correct.
Because you are created equally as myself by God. Now the question would be, I'm not refusing the fact that our leaders are going to Vatican City to meet the Pope. But I am of contrary to the point that it is good that we have to bring our, you know, our leaders to the focus that they have to know there is God somewhere. A God that look at Salva Kiir, a God that look at Riek Machar, a God that look at Jongkor, a God that look at Simon as equal. And if we are equal, then why would we be, you know, killing the rest of South Sudanese, and you want to live in South Sudan by yourself? So now, if you would have read my comment,
and that question actually has to, you know, to be, Pope will bring that to their attention when they are there on that room. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So in my perspective, Brother Jongkor, let them go to the Vatican City. But I believe that, you know, God works miracle when you open your heart to him. When you admit and you accept your wrongdoings and you invite God, you know, to heal your broken heart, that's when things will happen positively. But when you continue to deny your wrongdoing, Brother Jongkor, when you continue to deny what you have done wrong, what you inflicted on innocent citizens of the country, then I don't believe even God would have a room in your heart. there would never be peace in your heart.
But
God would never
yeah, you're
accept
right.
this.
But they still, some people sometimes they back up, you know, and they realize, they come to conclusion that I have done so bad. Why I keep doing this? Even though they did not have a room, they may have that, you know, feeling, and they retreat back. And that's why, you know, spiritual retreatment is kind of, you know, is good in this particular, right? Go ahead. Yeah.
All right, let's hope the spiritual retreatment will mean something. Remember, I think it was in was it August last year or July last year when there were these big prayers in Juba, and Salva Kiir was surrounded by a whole lot of priests and bishops and all that. You know what I said?
Yeah.
Because we were watching it on live TV. I said, you know, I was so skeptical about what was going to transform from that event.
I did too.
Because I don't believe Salva Kiir was honest enough and humble enough to receive the blessing. And I think this is the same thing I will restate here. I'm not denying what have been said by Father Francis, but this is my own opinion. You know, I believe that unless our leaders open up their hearts and humble themselves before God and accept the wrongdoing and the pain they have inflicted on innocent South Sudanese, only then maybe God will relook at them and forgive them, and then start the healing process. Because I believe wholeheartedly, Brother Jongkor, that there can never be healing process, whether it is me or you or Salva Kiir or Riek Machar, unless we judge our, you know, innermost layers and open up. Because it is only Salva Kiir and God who knows what is really happening inside Salva Kiir. So,
go ahead.
yes, going to Vatican City is one thing, but performing the duties that we would hope to bring peace is another thing. So now to conclude, because we will give other people a chance.
Yes.
We all want peace, Brother Jongkor, but we need a genuine peace that carry accountability and justice. Because in South Sudan, we all belong to that country. When one man wake up as if that person was in a coma and decide to kill or wipe out a certain population of South Sudanese.
Unfortunately, something, you know, distracted him, but I want him to finish. Let me bring him back and finish his point. So important. I'm calling you back, you know, Chankwat. Chankwat, it look like you have issue with net today. I don't know what's going on. Send it back. Send it back, Chankwat, please. Yep. Okay, I'm calling you back, Chankwat. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, man. I think Agwad is not happy that I'm I'm getting.
It can do nothing. Yes, it's go ahead.
All right. Sorry. Let me try to wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know what I was saying is that we need a peace in South Sudan that carry justice and accountability, because in that country called South Sudan, it belongs to all of us. We cannot afford to have men and women that wakes up in a coma and they want to wipe out population of.
Yeah, it looked like he has the network problem, you know, and that. But anyhow, you know, I got your message. Let me move on here, Chankwat. I wish you can finish up, but it looked like the network is giving you a hard time, actually. So let me go ahead and see others, and we may, you know, try that one more back again. But it seemed like, yeah, network is giving you a hard time here. I'm sorry. I apologize. So let me go ahead. Hey, Ustaz Mendengdit, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Jongkor.
Good. So now, yes, now Father Francis has spoken. I asked some question. There's a lot of, good thing came out of this our interview today. I want to get your perspective as well, Ustaz Mayandeng did, and move on from here.
I've listened to much of what Father Francis said, and I agree with you that this is one of the best shows of the last
2 years, yeah,
few years.
Why? That's not good. If that's from me, it will not be good. Why people are drop out? Sometimes the areas, maybe if the areas that they're sitting in, if it's not good. So go ahead, yeah.
I think it must be my own network, because where I am not that good.
Okay, go ahead.
Father Francis spoke well, and I must also thank Jongkor for his spirit of reconciliation, and we must also look at what is saying. Seriously, because this is the idea of the majority of our people. People are skeptical. People think that some people are born criminal, or and we need to move from this perception about ourselves. Even though these perceptions are based on facts on the ground, some people have been rebelling and coming back, and rebelling and coming back, and we should not just put our eggs into the basket of the Vatican, that it's what is going to bring peace to us. In peace analysis, we look at two things. We look at the structure of the society. That's the structuralist perspective of peace building, or nation building, and we look at the deeds of men.
Yes.
What human beings do, what founding fathers do. The founding fathers of America did a lot to build the structures, to build the structures that that have kept the country now intact for long, including civil-military relations.
Yes.
The military is subordinate to civilian authority. The chiefs of staff are subordinate to secretaries.
Yeah.
Defense secretary, the secretary of the Navy, and these are civilians. So when the chiefs of staff meet, they know that they are subordinate to the president, and this goes across the board. The judiciary is independent, and they can even override the decisions of the president. The system is now running itself. The country is running itself. Of course, the deeds of the first people, the first men, who did that, is what brought America to where it is, and what.
Go ahead.
What brought these democracies to where they are. The retreat to the Vatican is very important, Jongkor. You know, when the CPA was signed and the government of South Sudan was formed, President Kibaki called all the leaders, all the ministers and their deputies, including the president and Dr. Riak and those of Dr. Wani, and they went to Mombasa for a retreat. A spiritual retreat is an environment where there is no politics as such. But there is also, it sheds light on the destruction of the country.
Oh, sorry, man. Unfortunately, it dropped you out. Hopefully, yeah, let me bring you here so you can finish up. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you just move ahead in case it happens again.
Oh, no problem.
So a retreat is very valuable. It's very valuable in the sense that people will look at what their deeds have brought, the destruction that their deeds have brought to the country. Because the war in South Sudan is a war of, is a violent political contestation. It is not a peaceful political contestation. All over the world, people contest for political office, but not violently. And the result is over 4 million refugees. We have over 13,000 unaccompanied minors in South Sudan, unaccompanied children who don't know where their parents are. And UNICEF is taking care of them. Imagine that destruction, Jongkor, if you are a parent, if you are a father or a mother, imagine that there are 13,000 children in South Sudan who are running without knowing where their parents or their caretakers are, and it's UNICEF that is taking care of them. So a retreat will bring to the attention of these leaders the level of destruction that this political violent contestation has brought to the country. In the retreats, normally they bring people who have similar experiences, like people from Rwanda will come and talk to them. It is not time to listen to them. In a retreat, the president is not going to speak his mind. Dr. Riek is not going to speak his mind. Thomas is not going to speak his mind. They are not going to talk about the root causes of the civil war. There will be no talk about federalism. There will only be a concentration on the level of destruction that the war brings, and the role that these people must play to bring peace. And the compromises that are needed of all of them. All of them must compromise. Even if to compromise positions. The peace negotiations in Addis was a political retreat, if I can call it so, because it was all about positions and power and privilege. It is about, give me the power to appoint 5 governors or appoint 10 governors. Give me the power to give me the Ministry of Petroleum. Why do you take the Ministry of Finance? It's all about power and privilege. Now, when it is power and privilege that is destroying the country, that is sending our refugees away. But a retreat will change, will put attention to a more important thing, the people. In peace negotiations, people have not, these leaders have not talked about the people who are victims of their acts. The war is imposed on the people by both sides, by the government side through counterinsurgency operations, and by the rebels who want to use violence as a means of reaching, of gaining power. The Vatican has been involved in peace negotiations worldwide. It is involved, the Holy See is involved in the peace negotiations, the Israeli-Palestinian peace negotiations. They also hosted the Liberians or Sierra Leone peace negotiations in the Vatican, and so many other peace negotiations. It's a state. It's based on Christianity and the spirit of forgiveness and all that. Peace starts in the minds of men. I like this phrase from the first sentence in the preamble of the UNESCO document, that peace, since peace starts in the minds of men, then it is in the minds of men that the defenses since wars start in the minds of men, then it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be built. It is in the minds of Dr. Riek, of Salva Kiir Mayardit, of Thomas, that the defenses of peace must be built. What is happening on the ground is a manifestation of what they think about. If they think about peace, what will happen on the ground will be peace. If they dream about peace. And if you want peace, you don't need a standing army. So we need all these people to leave their standing armies and become politicians. And of course, it must be through a process.
Yes.
A process of cantonment, that is a political process. But you must believe in that first. You must keep it in your mind first. So the Vatican, this retreat, will put peace in their minds before coming back to South Sudan to create those necessary structures to make an independent judiciary, to allow a parliament that is more powerful than individuals, and to talk about peaceful coexistence. Paul Kagame has brought a miracle to Rwanda, an economic miracle and a spiritual miracle, in the sense that the Hutu, the Tutsi families that have lost over 1 million or around 1 million persons, people in Rwanda, were told that it is they who are supposed to give Rwanda something, not the Hutu extremists who assassinated, who brought peace, who brought war to Rwanda, because there was already a killing. So they were asked to forgive. What they are supposed to give Rwanda, the biggest value, the biggest thing that the Tutsi gave Rwanda is forgiveness. And it is this forgiveness that they gave Rwanda, which is now propelling Rwanda to
best country,
to the best country in Africa, and they have one of the best capitals in the world today in a span of 20 years. So we have come so low as a country, in the same way that Rwanda had gone so low, but we can build up, we can grow up in the same way that Rwanda has grown up. Of course, there was Kachacha courts in Rwanda, which was in Arusha, about transitional justice, which we need also in South Sudan. We cannot sweep everything under the carpet as if nothing has happened. A lot has happened. So many people have committed atrocities against our Nuer innocent civilians, against our Dinka innocent civilians, against the Equatorian innocent civilians. So it is the people, the innocent civilians, who have been victims of these atrocities, especially those who have been killed, who need transitional justice. The state must help the court, the hybrid court, to be formed, and everybody must be answerable. If you are a general and you think it is not you, you tell us who is responsible.
Yes.
You push it to the colonel. If the colonel says it's not me, he will push it to the captain. If the captain says it's not me, he will know the forces he was commanding and who was under him, and we will reach to the people who committed atrocities against civilians. It is possible. So I think this retreat is valuable, but it is as valuable as the people, as the receptiveness of the people who are there, of President Kiir, of Dr. Riek, of General Thomas, and everyone who is invited. How receptive are they to that spiritual message? So thank you, Jongkor, for your show. And we need a lot of such shows. The clergy or the church is a credible institution. It is the church that brought us South Sudan, the American church, the American lobby, the Christian lobby in the US went to Congress and pressed Congress on the rights of the Christians of South Sudan. Not only the Africans of South Sudan, but the Christians of South Sudan. And it is only then that President Bush listened to them and pressurized the extremist government in Khartoum to agree to a peaceful settlement of the war in South Sudan and allow South Sudanese to exercise the right of self-determination.
Correct.
And the church
you're right. Church actually has a very good influence through years, and that's why from the beginning I said, without Catholic Church, I wouldn't even be having this foundation of education. You know, to myself, they've been there for us. They've been there for all South Sudanese. Church has influence. Now the neighborhood that I'm living here, Ustad Mayan, do you know that they have a private school you know, for evangelicals, you know, like Scoptical Church, something like that. There is a school there, and because they have that influence to the government, they were able to bring the cameras on that neighborhood. And every time, you know, kids are going to school, this is a private school. You have a police officer there on the corner, you know. So if someone did anything, if someone ran anything, they will not be left alone. They're going to take care of that. So they have something to do with the people. And that's why I tell Father Francis, wherever the people are, the church, because at the end of the day, church is the people, you know. So thank you so much, you know, Ustad Mayan, for coming on and adding your perspective. I want to move on so I can give other people an opportunity here to add that perspective as well.
Thank you, Jongkor. Thank you. And let us also not forget that the consciousness of our politicians was formed by the missionary schools.
Yes.
When the colonialists came to South Sudan, it was the missionary schools that educated our fathers. And today we have people like Bishop Paride Taban and Dr. Daniel Dengbul and the rest who are trying their level best to inform our people about the value of peace and reconciliation. Thank you, Jongkor, and I'll continue listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please stick around.
Thank you.
Somebody was asking me, I should bring a song that really, and then I did something similar. So let's move on here, and then send in your request, and then I'll bring you in. All right, Bakita, I think you sent in the request again. I'm gonna try one more time. I hope it will work. If it works, it'll be okay. Okay, go ahead and answer that. I'm sending you a request right now. Hopefully you will, and then we'll move on from here. Sort of commercial somewhere there.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your
I'm calling you right now,
store.
Nikita. I'm sorry for that commercial. So it's not going through, Bakita. I apologize. Philip, I tried to call you, but it didn't go through earlier. But I'm gonna try one more time.
Whatsoever you do to the least
Let me go ahead and call John Lewis.
that you do unto me.
Go ahead.
When I was hungry, you gave me to
I'm calling you
eat.
John Welch.
When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. Now enter into the home of my
So it didn't go through. Okay, let me go ahead and do this.
Whatsoever you do to the least of my people, that you do unto me.
So let me try this one more time.
When I was homeless, you opened your door. When I was naked, you gave me your coat. Now enter into the home
Some
of
people, they are
my
disappointed for some reason, but I don't know why. We need that retreatment too.
Whatsoever you
Right?
do to the least of my people, that you do unto me.
When I was weary, you helped me find rest. When I was anxious, you calmed all my fears.
So let me go back to you, Jongkor, since I don't have a lot of people requesting here, and then you can finish up, then we go on.
Whatsoever you do
To the less of my brothers. Of course, whatsoever you do, whether you are a minister, whether you are a president, anything good that you do, right, to the rest of the people,
Mm-hmm.
that you do to God. You know, that's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
You know, you are fulfilling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my favorite song, actually.
But these are the things, brother, God never understood.
Actually,
Yeah.
Agud was a student at St. Augustine in Khartoum. So he went to one of the best school. I remember very well. He went to one of the best school in Khartoum, which is a Catholic school. That's what Agud went to. But I don't understand sometimes, you know, he tried to be, you know, a little bit out of the hook. So go ahead.
All right, look, Joko, let me just conclude, man. I don't know what's really happening with my network on my phone.
Sometimes if it's full of,
yeah, sometimes
that's what it is.
Yeah. All right, look, my conclusion was supposed to be that peace comes when people open up their hearts.
Yes.
When you actually admit your wrongdoings, then peace will eventually come. Because when you admit the wrongdoing,
Chankot, unfortunately, it looked like your phone, you have so many files on the phone. It does that sometimes. If you have so many files on the phone, it will drop your call right away. And actually, that's what I've seen happening here. Yeah, Jamal, go ahead and send in your request. I don't see any requests coming in for some reason. You know, at this moment, I don't see any requests coming in. So go ahead and send me a request, and then I can bring you so we can wrap it up. You know, I don't see a lot of requests today. I know people are a little bit, you know, this is very important, you know, talking about this. This is very, very important. So send in the request, and then I bring you in, and we move on from here. Then we try this one more time here, and then we see what's going on here. So let's go ahead and do this.
When I was laughed at, you stood by my side. When I was happy,
Send in your requests. Send in your requests. I repeat, ya Jama. So I can bring you in.
The home of my Father. Whatsoever you do to the least of my people,
Tawfiq, I'm calling you Tawfiq. Tawfiq, I'm calling you. Go ahead and answer that. Can you put headphones? You have headphones?
No, I think I don't have it today with me. I am away. I am not at home. I don't have a headphone. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Echo. I'm gonna have to keep quiet while you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say thank you for the show, and yeah, let's see what will happen when everybody goes to Vatican City. And I don't think Vatican City is really an answer for us. The answer is still in Junub. I think Dr. Mashar and President Kiir, they should be inviting Pope to visit Junub Sudan, and then they will do everything there and not away. Because the war did not take place in Rome. The war took place in Junub Sudan. Pope should be the one who going there. And I believe Pope is just a man just like you and me. Pope cannot bless anybody unless you are a Catholic. Then you will believe that yes, he can bless people. He will not bless anybody, no matter what. Look at that. There's a lot of things that are going on in the Catholic Church, and Pope is silent. He's not doing nothing. What makes us think that he will bring peace to Junub Sudan? Why is Pope now wants to involve himself in bringing peace in Junub Sudan? Where was he from the beginning?
Okay. Go ahead.
So we need ourselves as Junubin
We the ones who are like looking for peace, advocating for the peace.
Okay.
Somebody just called me. Please, can you not call me? I will call you guys back later on. I am at the show. So what I was trying to say is this. We can pray for ourselves. We can pray for peace to come to Junub Sudan. But also, when we're on live video, we have to be serious with our
So
talk.
let me say this, dear Tawfiq. So when
Yes.
you say that Vatican and Pope, like men like me and you, then when we have that comprehensive peace agreement, are those mediators, whether European Union or the American, were not men, were they angels?
That's a different thing. This is how you look.
No. But now you are contradicting yourself, because if someone wanted to intervene, listen, someone wanted to intervene here to help you. So we have a comprehensive peace agreement. It wasn't just initiated by Sudanese and South Sudanese alone. It's involved international community, the UN, and you know, the IGAD and all these things. So all of a sudden we have that peace process. And now you're telling me that if Pope involved in this, it's not gonna bring anything because Pope is a man like me, unless you have to be a Catholic. What does that say? You know?
Okay.
Why are you pessimistic? Why are you pessimistic to that extent?
I am pessimistic for this for the reason we are involving Pope as a man of God, right? We did not invite European Union as people of God. They just come as regular human beings.
And what is wrong? And what is wrong if men of God or, you know, involved? We have people, you know, ordinary people involved. We have governments, officials involved, non-governmental organization, NGOs involved before, and we were able to get a solution. What is wrong? Do you have any hate to Pope? Do you have any problem with Pope?
Yes, I have problem with the Pope because he's not doing enough. Because there's a lot of things that are wrong in the Catholic Church. You heard about the kids being molested. The Pope is not doing anything on that. If the Pope cannot do anything on that, what makes you think he will bless our country? When he cannot say anything that will prevent or stop.
Who tell you that Pope didn't say anything? And by the way, I don't want you to divert our discussion from the issue that we are in to something else. I don't want that. Because we wanted to get you to add your perspective in a good manner, okay? But the notion that you are coming and say, oh, because there's things that happen in Catholic Church, that's why Pope is not a right man. Well, how many things that happen in this government, in these organizations, but from human perspective, and then they are still doing well, they are still reconciling people.
I think Pope needs to come to Junub Sudan.
Pope, yes, was invited, and he will come, and he will come to South Sudan. No question about it. Listen, they go everywhere. They go everywhere. Do you remember in 1993 when Sudanese, you know, government, the Islamic, they were so hard on people, you know, demolishing the churches and so many things. Pope John Paul II, he still come. He will come. It's a matter of time. You know, he will come. You know, so it's not a problem. They can go anywhere. They went to Emirates. They go everywhere. Pope goes everywhere. So it's not an issue. I don't know why you're taking this as a personal issue, my dear brother. You know.
I think what's going on? I think maybe I really don't feel it involving Pope as a man of God. I don't feel it. Let's involve churches and not Pope, because Pope cannot bless anybody. Yeah. He will not. He will never bless anybody because he's just a regular man, just like you and myself.
I understand that is a regular man and like me and you, because if I don't accept anything from my heart, nothing is gonna heal. I have to be convinced that actually I want healing, and then the healing will come. But what's wrong involving them in our problem? We went all over. We went to IGAD. We went to Kenya. We went even to Bashir, the person that we were fighting with. We went to them. They become like mediators. Yeah, so what's wrong, involved with someone who helped you yesterday, with someone who helped you lobby and helped you yesterday? Is that I don't know. Anyway, thank you for coming on and adding your perspective.
We didn't go to them as a holy man. We didn't go to Kenya. We didn't go to Khartoum as a holy people to bring peace to us. We just went to them as a regular human beings. That's what we went.
Okay.
So
Thank you. Anyway, I really take your point. You know, you don't have to agree with me. That's the point. You know, we can agree to disagree. That's fine. You know, you don't have to
yes,
agree with what we are
let's
saying.
go to India too. Let's go to India too.
And that's fine. Yeah, if there
Thank
is a
you for the
mediation
show.
in the mediation in the India, whether they are Hindus or whatever, and they wanted to do. Gandhi was not a Christian, but Gandhi has done a
Even
lot of
let's
good
go
things.
to Israel.
Listen, Gandhi was a good person. It was not Christian. It was not Muslim. But people today, they remember him. They keep talking about him, the good thing that he has done.
Exactly.
So
Because
that's what I'm
Gandhi
telling
did
you.
not say
You
this.
should not say that. Oh, I don't want to go there because they are holy. They are whatever. You know. So anyway,
Exactly,
thank you
because
so much,
Gandhi
dear
never
brother.
proclaimed that he's a holy man. Gandhi never proclaimed that he's a holy man. Gandhi never proclaimed that. Gandhi proclaimed he's a regular human being.
And Pope
And
is
he
regular
believed
too.
in
And do you
peace.
know that Pope has
And he
an
believed
international
in a
platform?
non-violence.
Vatican, you know, Vatican is a country. Do you know that? It's a recognized country. Do you know that?
I know that Vatican, it's a recognized country, but it's just Gandhi. It's a better
No,
choice
no,
than
no.
Pope.
Do you know that? If it's a recognized country, it has a flag of the United Nations. And if they wanted to reconcile any country that have problem, they can do that. Do you
No,
agree
but
with
let's
that?
not go to Pope us by saying he's the
No, no,
holy
no.
man. No, let's go him to ask a president or the leader of Vatican state. That's how I want to. That's how I want us to look at him, not as a holy man. Let's look at
Brother,
him as the leader of Vatican City.
anyway, Taufik, thank you. You don't have to agree with me like what I said. You know, we agree to disagree. That's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and give other, opportunities to other South Sudanese here
Please
who
give
are
others opportunity,
available.
and thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you
you.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Come.
All right, Ajama, go ahead and send in your request, and then I'll bring you. We move on from here. So let me see who is next. Atem, I tried really hard, but it didn't work for me. I tried to bring you in, but it didn't work. So it's raining outside, Ajama. That's why you hear that kind of sound there. But let me go ahead and call Deng. Deng Tong Duok. I'm calling you Deng. Hello.
Brother Jongkor, salam alek.
Alaikum assalam. Welcome to Concern Citizens of South Sudan.
معلش أنا هتكلم بعربي الليلة شوية.
ما في مشكلة. Yeah, you are welcome.
كدين أكال إنجليزي شوية.
Of course.
ده شو كويس وأنا always قاعد نختلف مع ناس في أي شو. أنا مشيت فوق أنا بقول بس كلامي اللي بشوفه حقيقة اللي أنا بشوفه أنا الطريقة اللي أنا شايفه به.
نعم.
في مشكلة نمشي لأنه أنا قدرت الناس كتير قبل كلموا وأبونا يتكلم قبل أنا سمعته. نمشي في كلام بتاعي. أنا الكلام شايفه في زيارة بتاعي.
I'm sorry it dropped you for some reason. I don't know what happened, my dear brother. Go ahead and send another request, and then I'll bring you in. Send another request, please. So. Send in another request. Yes, I see that.
brother Jongkor.
معلش network بس عمل لك جرجرة كده شوية.
لا عندي ناس لما يشوفوني بكلم كان عملوا لي شكوى وانا لسه قاعد now solve that problem with the government anyway.
تفضل.
يا هو لما انا وصلت لناس بتاعت الاف بي اي هنا في ميد ويست عشان يشوفوا الناس ديل ويدونا اسماء بتاعهم. في ناس كده بيهب يعملوا بلوك لزول لو انت قاعد تتكلم.
معلش.
يا هو فالكلام بتاعي انا زي ما قلت بختلف مع ناس في زياره بتاعت الحكومه او الحركه والحكومه لبنغان. انا بختلف معهم كثير لانه الزياره لبنغان لفاتيكان ما هي.
It start doing that. It looked like there is a problem with the network. We do not know what's going on today with the network. Maybe the area that you are sitting in. Hopefully. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Let me open the door. Go ahead.
فأنا بشوف الزيارة ما هيختلف كثير لأنه في المشكلة بتاعتنا is a man made. ده حاجة إنسان عمله. ده ما حاجة ربنا عمله. ده ما حاجة ربنا عمله. نحن نفرق الحاجات. حاجة إنسان عمله man made وحاجة ربنا مثلا جابه كمشكلة. ده man made. ده نحن برانا عملناه في انفسنا لو درنا نحله بنحله نحن برانا.
Look like there is an issue, real issue here with the, because my guests, they keep dropping out. I don't know. Is someone trying to hack on the system?
معلش they're hacking. I know they try to hacking a lot. I know.
Yeah, I would. Not there, but
yeah. أنا هنا مشكلة بتاعتنا عملناها برانا.
Yes.
فما في مشكلة جابوا لنا مثلا ناس تانيين. الليلة يا جونكور لو أنا شاكلت معك أول حاجة ده بيكون في قولو مثلا بيكون في كلام يا أنت سميت قولو يا أنا سميت قولو عشان نتشاكل. لكن لو أنت ما سميت قولو وأنا ما سميت قولو ما هنشاكل يا جونكور.
That's correct.
حتى في البيت أنت ومرة بتاعك عشان تخربوا في زول بيكون بيناتكم بيدخل مشاكل.
Go ahead. So I really apologize, my dear brother. It looked like there's something wrong here with the network. It's not allowing you to finish.
أنا نتم كلامي حتى وأنت والمرة يا جونكور زي ما أنا قلت بيكون في زول بيناتكم بيخش عشان يخرب بيناتكم في بيتك. فأنت لو سميت الكلام قالوا في بيتك أنت هيكون لك مشاكل في بيتك.
That's right.
لا أنا مرتك ده والله شفته مع راجل الفلان مرتك أنت لو زول قلبك خفيف خلاص تخش مرة بتاعك وتخش في مشاكل. لكن لو أنت زول راجل قلبك قوي وأنت أو راجل بيت أنت بتقول خلينا نايم بينا ولا حاجة. ده هو زي مشكلة بتاعت الدولة ما دولة بيبدأ من بيت.
Correct.
الدولة بيبدأ من بيت.
So with that, look, I'm sorry, my dear brother Deng. Let me go ahead. It looked like something wrong with the system because keep dropping you out. Let me try you, Atilia Abu Yasmin. If you are there, please send me a request. Karaba Malu. Hey, there's something here because في مطر شديد برا. قد يكون يمكن ده أو أعمل reason. Let me see you. Abu Yasmin, please send me a request because I am thinking about actually, you know, going off with this because since it started dropping people to this extent, I think it's a good idea not to, you know, to do it, to keep doing it because it's not going to be okay. I think it has something to do with the system. Until I figured out what's going on with this. Let me try one more time.
هاي معلش المهم نعمل مقاطعة كده لعدم ما نتم كلامي.
Yeah.
أنا هنا عملنا المشكلة برانا في جنوب السودان بدينا برانا ولازم نهله برانا.
Yes.
والمشكلة الكبير هو بين زي ما الناس ما بيحبوا حقيقة، الناس بيحبوا اللي يفعلوا حقيقة. المشكلة غير نفسه يا جونكور من كان مشكلة بتاعت حركة شعبية لمشكلة قبلية. بوبلو الفاتيكان لو دار يعزم ناس خليه يعزم سلاطين بتاع بلد بتاع دين ونوير يشيلوا معهم سوا سلاطين من بلد ما سلاطين بتاع جوبا ولا سلاطين بتاع مناطق سلاطين من جو بلد.
Okay, Jama, with that, I think it's not okay because since you keep dropping people, we're not going to be able to continue. Let me try Abu Yasmin at this moment, and then we move on from here because I see Brother Deng, it didn't give him an opportunity to continue. So Abu Yasmin, I'm calling you right now. Go ahead and answer that. So go ahead and answer, and then we move on from here. So he's dialing up. All right, there we go. Hello.
Hi, Jongkor.
And I'm out of system. It looked like it's giving people hard time, drop them out. So I want to get your perspective before we conclude because it seemed like we have a lot of rains here today.
Oh, it's raining in Seattle, eh?
Raining like crazy, yeah. So
okay.
The problem too, I don't know, So what is your intake? Father Francis has spoken and we ask questions. So with the retreatment of the leaders, you know, the Vatican. So what are we expecting? What's going to happen with this? You know.
Well, it's very good, and I'm sorry for those folks that are, you know, having troubles. They try to send them their views in regard to this topic. First, thank you, and the thanks Father Francis Chan from the States. Well spoken. I'm amazed from the way he conducted himself, and
yeah,
the introduction actually was very, very amazing. You know, it touched me when he remember and recall the great Mama Amandit.
Amandit, yes.
Yes, you know, a lot of folks from Will, you know, they're touched by that woman's Sister Amandit was very good. And he has a lot of experience, you know, in South Sudan. You mentioned, wow, that's where I grew up, Juba, Malakal. He's a man of peace, you know. He did well, very, very, very well. Now I think ميان دينجي برضو يعني ما خلى حاجة وكان في برضو الأخ Jongkor from Australia. They did well, you know. What we are seeking for peace, right?
Yes.
So this is how the hope function, you know. So let us go wherever the peace is. The said Al-Khartoum was intending to bring peace to South Sudan, and we were opposing that. And they went there. Despite Umar Bashir's hike, he went to Makkah a couple of times.
Yes.
You know. So is and I see a lot of folks بالذات الأخ فاروق قبل شوية كان يتحدث. There is a mix and confusion here. We need to define actually what is the spiritual retreat. هي ما مسألة فصل الدين والدولة. أنا قدامك ده أنا ضد you know دخل الدين في أمور الدولة in the states. And this is what the movement were actually based. You know, النظام العلماني في السودان القديم حتى إنه تصل الناس كله فصل الدين عن الدولة. This is totally different. You know, this is more of individual things. You know, يعني بالعربي retreat, spiritual retreat in Arabic is الاعتكاف. You know, in that moment, the Catholic Church will provide you the audience تعيش في رحاب ربنا يعني in that moment to purify your soul. You know, with the hope that you may change because there is a frosty relation between these two leaders.
Yes.
And if there is someone voluntary said that, let me try this. If this is going to work, let it be. It's not going to change the constitution of South Sudan to be of Roman Catholic Church. No,
correct.
This is not what's happening here. You know, and even in Islam, برضو بالذات الطرق الصوفية بيمارسوا هذه العملية الاعتقاف يعني is very, very, very common there. And we know that those countries in Africa يعني بيمارسوا الطرق الصوفية. People go to shrine القبة وهكذا. So this is something common, you know.
تصوف.
Yes, بالضبط. So احنا ما يعني there is nothing bad here. It's not going to change the constitution of South Sudan. And one thing you need to know is this. Your speaker said that Pope is a normal person. Yes, he's a normal human being, but it has international platform. Roman Catholic Church is not the political entity, it's not a political party, but their figure, the Pope Francis, has international platform, is a moral authority. People respect him because of that. So he can play roles in international relationship. He can bring people together. And don't forget the role of church in many conflicts. And thank you, you mentioned South Africa. Look at South Africa now. Church played a huge role there. And don't make no mistakes. الكنيسة الكاثوليكية يعني ساهم بكثير من المساعدات للدول المضرة منها جنوب السودان. So they are obligated to find a solution to this country so they can divert whatever they were providing as assistance to different people and different nations. So you can see it from that perspective as well. So we don't need to be very sensitive and see that we are mixing a state affair with the religion here. This is a very simple self-purification to come to Rehab Allah and then may change your view on how you see things, especially these two principles, Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. The relation among them is very frosty. So if there is someone with a moral authority that can play a role, so let it be. Let us try to give him a chance. Exactly. If that's going to work, you know. And the show was good, and I like Father Francis. Is well spoken. I respect him a lot. Is well informed. He knows very well, and he appealed to all walks of life in South Sudan to come together and try to own the peace. Me, personally, I don't like the way government is functioning, but I'm not going to wish for peace to fail, you know? So we need to be very careful and we need to draw the line in that specific juncture. And thank you, brothers.
Hey, Atilia Yasmin, it was always good, to have you on our show and with your great perspective. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Peace, no problem, man.
Thank you. So now it seemed like maybe then my other guests, they have some issues with their network because the management Tanin sometimes it seemed like to be working very well. So I think maybe we should call a day. Thank you so much, for being with us today. I'm going to go ahead and call a day because the weather is not so good and it looked like maybe he's going to do the same thing. Of course, we won, President Kiir, Mayar, and then Riek Machar, when they go there and they come back, we want to see them. They are boarding the same plane like, Father Francis have said. We want them to come together and we want them to open a new chapter and try to work. Ya Jama, ma fi harib ahel mushkila btana fi Junub Sudan. No matter what we do, war is not going to solve it. We talked to them here in social media. We said opposition unite, they united, their unity didn't last. They tried to fight, they did not do anything. So more fighting is going to kill our people. More fighting is going to make our people run away. More fighting is not going to solve any problem. So if there's any, tijah want to involve, to bring them together and try to convey message of unity and love and peace and reconciliation, that's what we want. We want solution. We don't want, to continue the same thing non-stop. Jama, we were not born to be suffering, suffering all the time. We need to have peace. We need to have peace of mind. We need to live like any other nations. They are living, with transparency and justice and liberty and so on. So that's what we are wishing. So Anna, personally, I wish they can go there and they can come back, with that good treatment. They can feel that what have we done wrong and we keep doing this. So we wanted to go and start, new beginning. That's what we want. But we don't want them to continue. Again, I really, really appreciate Nazal Hadar Yom. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for being part of Concerned Citizens of South Sudan. I know today, yes, weather and all these things giving us a hard time. Niltaqikum inshallah next week. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Africa, say it louder. Say it louder. Salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank everybody.